How much do you know about Caden Clark? Well, today you're about to learn everything you need to know about it. We're going to go by talking about the transfer situation with RB Leipzig. Then we're going to talk about his story, how Caden Clark grew up and how he became the player he is, and also how he got to the Red Bull organization. We're going to address all of that. And a special thank you to David Kerr and Chris Clark, Caden's father, for providing a lot of good information to make the video happen. So thank you very much to both of them for all the support. Now that said, after that, we're going to talk about his current situation with the New York Red Bulls, stats, situation, his heat map, a lot of it. We're going to do an analysis on that. And at the very end of the video, I will address a player that I think is very similar to Caden Clark's playing style, or actually Caden Clark is very similar to his playing style. And I'll talk about how far I think Caden Clark could go. What is his ceiling? With that said, comment down below. What do you think is Caden Clark's ceiling? Do you think he can be a world-class player, a starter for the US men's national team, an average USMNT player, a good player, or not that good? Well, comment down below. I'll let you know my opinion at the very end of the video. And with that said, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, as it truly helps us. I wonder how many times I'm going to say Red Bull in this video. And a special thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring this video and sponsoring Tactical Manager TV on the month of May. We truly appreciate all the support. It's the perfect soccer app. Even though I call it OneFootball, it's the perfect soccer app where you can follow your favorite team, the New York Red Bulls, maybe if you're a Red Bull fan, your favorite players, Caden Clark per se, and get all the stats, highlights, match trackers. So go download OneFootball right now. The link is down in the description. It's a free download for your iPhone and Android. You'd be helping the channel and yourself. Okay, so let me get you guys up to date with the transfer situation with RB Leipzig before we go to his whole background. So according to The Athletic, Caden Clark will go to RB Leipzig in January of 2022, the transfer window over the winter. Now, I cannot confirm or deny this. All I can say, it will only be official once the teams actually make it official. So RB Leipzig, New York Red Bulls, and MLS as well. Once they announce it, it will be official. As of now, I can't confirm or deny it. In the meantime, in this video, let me explain how Caden Clark got involved with the New York Red Bulls and how it could happen that he could go to Leipzig. I'm going to talk about all of that, so let's go to his background now. I'm just saying Red Bulls so often on this video, they should probably sponsor the channel as well. Let's keep going with the video. I'm probably going to say Red Bull quite a bit in this video. I should even drink a Red Bull to get more energy at this point, but let's keep going with the video. Caden Clark started off his soccer career very early by playing for Minnesota Thunder Academy as a U23, U14 player. However, he did play up on age groups, so he was mostly 2 to 3 years younger than those age groups. But wait. It starts even before that. His soccer career started way before that. Caden has always been involved with professional athletes throughout his entire life. Chris Clark, Caden's father, is a performance coach, so he's been around professional athletes and knows what it takes to be a professional athlete, essentially. And Caden Clark has always been around that environment, which most certainly helped his development and understanding what it takes to be a professional athlete. Along with that, Chris Clark has always been heavily involved in Caden's development, in and off the field, with personal training, proper diet, everything required to be a professional athlete and succeed. Actually, till this day, Chris Clark still plays a big role in Caden's development in and off the field. Okay, now back to the Minnesota Thunder Academy. According to many sources, they played a very possession-styled play which relied more on technical ability rather than athleticism, which is essential for soccer, and it's most likely why Caden is much more technical than the average MLS player. Along with that, it's another reason why Caden relies more on his technical ability rather than his athleticism. Okay, after his years with Minnesota Thunder, Caden Clark wanted to move on to the Minnesota United Academy, but at the time they didn't have his age group, claiming there wasn't enough talent in the region, believe it or not. Even though there was Caden Clark in the region and Patrick Weah per se, that's in their first team right now, they claimed there wasn't enough talent in the region. And this is not a bash on Minnesota United, but come on, seriously? Later on, Caden Clark tried out for the FC Dallas Academy, which is honestly maybe the best or one of the best academies in the United States. However, it did not fit his playing style and culture for Caden's development. Therefore, Caden and Chris Clark made the decision to not join for the time being. Now it's where it starts to get very interesting in Caden's history and how he started making big jumps in his youth soccer career. During the Mediterranean International Cup, he caught the attention of Barcelona. Yes, nothing less than Barcelona, the Spanish giants. But due to not having an European passport, he was not able to join La Masia at the time. FC Barcelona then advised Chris Clark to give a look at the Barcelona Residency Academy in Arizona so Caden could join it. to continue his development at that point. So Caden would then go on to join the Barcelona Residency Academy in Arizona, where he would continue his development mostly focused on technical ability, possession, and playing with the ball on the floor, possession, passing, you know, the Barcelona style of play, stop those lob balls. He did very well at the Residency Academy, and during his time there, he even traveled to practice with Barcelona's main academy, La Masia. They even tried to keep him there once again, but then once again, due to not having a European passport, Caden was not able to join Barcelona. And I'm probably going to mention the passport issue again in this video very soon. I don't know what I talk about more in this video, the passport issue or the whole Red Bull organization. Caden Clark was first noticed by the Red Bull organization during his time at the Barcelona Residency Academy. He then went to Germany to trial for RB Leipzig and Wolfsburg as well. Leipzig wanted to sign him right away, somewhat similar to what Barcelona wanted, but then again, because of the European passport, Leipzig was not able to sign him yet because he would have to be 18 to be able to go there, and he wasn't 18. He's still not 18 at the time of this recording, so he wasn't able to head to Germany as well. However, Leipzig did suggest for him to take the Red Bull way, which is going through their MLS club, the New York Red Bulls. So essentially, that's how he got involved with the Red Bull organization. The suggestion from Leipzig was for him to go to New York Red Bulls. So now let's talk about how he ended up at the New York Red Bulls. In February of 2020, Caden Clark signed with the New York Red Bulls team, the USL team, and he was not able to sign with the New York Red Bulls at the time because Minnesota United owned his territorial rights, which is just another silly MLS rule and regulation which makes no sense to me. The only thing it's useful for is for owners that don't want to invest in their academies to be protected, essentially. But we're going to get to that soon. Obviously, eventually, the New York Red Bulls would go on to buy those territorial rights. And it's also very odd because Caden Clark never even played for the Minnesota United Academy, and they still owned his territorial rights. So it's just another MLS silly rule, but let's keep going with the video. During his time at the New York Red Bulls too, Caden Clark was very impressive at USL, and after they failed to make the playoffs, Caden was promoted to the New York Red Bulls main squad to play in MLS in October of 2020. Where he would go on to be a regular starter right away, play 8 matches, score 3 goals, including 1 MLS playoff match and goal as well. Okay, now that you're all up to date with the whole situation of how he got into the Red Bull organization, how he could go to Leipzig as well, let's go to his player bio, then I'll talk about his current season in the New York Red Bulls, US men's national team, and finally, at the end, I'll talk about a player I think he has a very similar playing style to. With that said, please make sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this type of video, and also comment down below what is Caden Clark's ceiling and why, and you know, just do it to support the channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell as well. Alright, let's go to his player bio. Caden Clark, he was born at May 27th of 2003, so he's pretty much 18 at this point, and maybe at the time that you're watching this video, he's already 18. He's 1.8 meters tall, he's right-footed, and he plays for the New York Red Bulls as an attacking midfielder and sometimes as a winger as well. His nationality, he's American, and his current market value is 3.3 million, but trust me, once he makes a jump to Europe, that market value will be way higher than that. I don't see it being lower than $10 million. So for the New York Red Bulls this season, Caden Clark has 4 matches and 3 goals at the time of this recording, which is quite impressive considering the team's style of play doesn't really suit him in my personal opinion. But let's give a quick look on his heat map before I talk a little bit more about his time on the New York Red Bulls. So when we look into his heat map, we can see that he has been playing more wide rather than central, which honestly has been much more common among managers nowadays, as they tend to play the so-called 10 more wide. We've seen that with Gio Reyna most recently. James Rodriguez has been playing more wide, and he's a true 10. And it's essentially what we call the demise of the number 10, you know? But is it really though? They play him wide, and he's not really the best at dribbling at the defender type, kind of like Christian Pulisic. He does turn well with his back to the defense. He has good long shots. He breaks the defense with great through balls. He's much better playing central. And we did see him at times this season for the New York Red Bulls play as an 8 and sometimes even as a 10. But he's mostly wide, and in my opinion, it's just not where he's at his best. Even though he has been performing very well, I think he will be a true 10, and that's where I think he should play. And listen, I know many are saying the true 10 is dead, but it's not, and we know he will be playing as the 10 eventually, and no, the position is not dead. But then again, good players adapt, and they find ways to play regardless, and Caden Clark is a good player, a fantastic player, and even though he's being played wide, he's finding a way to perform and be effective for his team. I've also been able to notice that his soccer IQ seems a little bit higher than the average MLS player and many of his teammates. There's a lot of the times that he puts a through ball, but his teammate doesn't share the same line of thought or the same idea or doesn't act as fast, even though the play is absolutely fantastic. He's not being able to connect 1-2s, so all of that can be changed once he's playing with more high quality players, and that can be very big once he moves to Leipzig or elsewhere in the future in his career, or any quality player, even in the US men's national team, where we have some fantastic players like Christian Pulisic, Gio Reyna, Weston McKennie, etc. The list goes on. Honestly, and the lack of connection with a lot of the players in the New York Red Bulls team is also one of the reasons I think why Caden Clark is lacking assists in the MLS. He's been able to score, but he's lacking assists because I think they just don't share the same thought and don't act as fast when he puts a through ball or he does a creative play. So once he makes a move to a bigger team, I do think the assist might ramp up and he might actually get even more assists and goals in the future. Don't be surprised if that happens. Right now it seems like he's more of a goal scorer, but I think eventually he'll be more of an assist player. Now let's talk a little bit about the New York Red Bulls style of play. The current style of play has not benefited Caden at all in my personal opinion. Along with making him drift wide, the system makes you run too much without the ball, and Caden's game needs more touches, more ball movement, more possession. But he's still finding ways to score, hold the ball, draw fouls. I just don't think the style of play from this team is very well suited for Caden Clark at the moment. A move to Leipzig would just benefit him in my personal opinion. Players with more quality to do 1-2s, good through balls. Caden can feed them with through balls as well. Players will have more open spaces so Caden can get long shots, and he will have more players to connect as well. Plus, Jesse Marsch is heading to RB Leipzig, and I think Caden Clark fits perfectly when he plays a 4-4-2 diamond formation. Caden Clark could be the central attacking midfielder in that formation, and that's where I think he could be the best. Now, I know Jesse Marsch also plays a 4-2-2-2 formation. We talked about that in the video we made about Jesse Marsch, where the attacking midfielders play wide, but they don't play as wide as wingers. It will be still more central than what he's playing right now at the New York Red Bull organization, so I think he will most certainly benefit from Jesse Marsch being there. Jesse Marsch doesn't seem to play a lot with wingers, essentially, and I think that would be absolutely fantastic for Caden Clark. Okay, now in regards to the US men's national team, Caden Clark has not been called up for the US men's national team yet. He has been called to a few youth camps, including the infamous Olympic qualifying roster that we had back in March with Jason Kreis. That didn't make the Olympics. In my personal opinion, Caden Clark should have been there along with a few other players, and we probably would have been in the Olympics if him and a few others were there. But that we can just thank Jason Kreis for. Let's keep moving forward the video. Now I'm going to tell you a player that I think he has a very similar playing style to, but I think Caden actually has a higher ceiling. And guys, hit the like button, just because. Hit the like button if you don't like Jason Kreis. There you go. I'm going to get 1,000 likes for that probably. Okay, so what player do I personally think Caden Clark resembles at times? And I think it's Jorge Valdivia, the El Mago from Chile that played for Palmeiras as well. He was one fantastic number 10 for Chile's golden generation. He played with Alexis Sanchez, Vidal, and he was one of the main players in that team. Honestly, he was probably the most technical player of that team, believe it or not, but his career was hurt through injuries. However, him and Jorge Valdivia also have a lot of similarities, such as the great first touch. He can play with his back to the defense and have great turns in tight spaces. He can play with creativity while facing the defender as well, can score from outside of the box, and he can play wide, but mostly is better when central. A true 10. So I do see a lot of similarities between him and Jorge Valdivia, but I think Caden Clark's ceiling is actually much higher. Caden Clark will remain healthy. Chris Clark will help him with that, along with all of his commitment. Jorge Valdivia wasn't as committed, I would say. As a Palmeiras fan, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I watched him a little bit too much. But yeah, Caden Clark's ceiling, in my personal opinion, honestly, it doesn't mean he will become that, but his ceiling is being world class. I think that's his ceiling. He's going to go to Europe. We'll see how he develops. And if he's short from world class, he didn't fulfill his max potential. I think his max potential is being world class. And I want to know your opinion on Caden Clark. Can he be world class? Just a good player? Average USMNT player? How far will Caden Clark go in your personal opinion? Now guys, remember, he has been able to find ways to score for New York Red Bulls. He's been fantastic, and I look forward to seeing Caden Clark play with some high quality players in the US men's national team and in Europe as well after he makes his move abroad. Now I want to thank you all very much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as it truly helps us grow, and have a great day.